After this, my sort of task is to begin the roundtable. And what we have thought here is we would ask our invited guests who are here with us to give their idea. We are not asking to read a paper or we are not asking them to give presentation, but in very short, their main focus of what should be the development strategy for Northeast. And I would request them to give in highlights. We will ask them to present in 3 minutes their ideas, and thereafter we would request the August gathering here for an interaction. And after that, we will be summing up the outcomes of the roundtable, which Professor R.R. Singh would kindly be doing it for us. And my job is nothing but to act as a timekeeper. So please pardon me, I'm asking your excuse, but I will be, after 3 minutes, I'll just have to ask you to, ma'am, stop talking. So the very first speaker is Madam Mona Lisa. And may I invite you, Madam, before I would request all the roundtable speakers here to just give a brief introduction about themselves so that everybody knows what is the background in which they are talking. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we are not going to waste time. I'm Mona Lisa Jankija. I'm editor of Nagaland Page. It's an English daily based at Dimapur, Nagaland. So I am not an educationist. I'm in the wrong place. I shouldn't be sitting here. But anyway, here I am. She looks like she's very serious, so I'm just going to come to the point. As far as Nagaland is concerned, I feel that education has created a disconnect between the individual, the child, and the society, the state, the nation. And it has handicapped the child, not only disconnected him from his inner self, but also handicapped the child from being productive. This could be, I don't know, I'm not an expert in the subject, but I'm of the opinion this could be because, like most societies in the Northeast, we were abruptly and unceremoniously, hijacked from a very tribal society to some kind of colonial sort of status. And then the American missionaries came and introduced, and it's wonderful. They taught us to read and write and even count. But the thing is, it disconnected us. And we, while our tribal society still continue, a part of us, majority of us have been introduced to a modern education, and we cannot find a place in that society. We cannot understand. Hence, when we come back, we study as doctors, engineers, etc. We cannot operate, get along with our own people, and we cannot live in the village. We cannot face the fact that we are supposed to be getting water in the tap, electricity, etc. And we said, no, the government is not providing these amenities. I cannot go and work in this place. Development is not taking place. I feel that education, because we had our own system of education, traditional system. We had the Morong system. But then, somebody else came from somewhere and they called us heathens and pagans, and all our ways were considered us. But then we had something that was suitable for us. Education, for me, I think should not be a hybrid kind of rice that is grown in the laboratory and then brought to the Northeast and, okay, this is for Mizoram. No, it should come, the indigenous variety should come from our own soil. And what is happening is that education has come, and even after independence, it has carried on. So, yes. So I am not going to put a full stop here. I will put comma, and we can continue the discussion, okay?
Thank you so much. This is the spirit of it. Can I ask my next speaker And sir, please introduce yourself, if you
Thank you,
don't mind.
Jivyani. I am Mahajan representing the Indian Welding Society, which is primarily focused on dissemination of the welding technology through the certain activities like conferences, exhibitions, training courses, primarily for the welding engineers and technologists, supervisors, etc. We have on our society educational institutes, industries, which represent fabricators, equipment and consumable manufacturers, research institutions, government bodies as member of the society. About a year back, we have taken up skill development as a big initiative to uplift the or provide employability opportunities for the rural youth and especially the school dropouts. We started with an initiative in the south with the Periyar Maniam University and BHEL Ancillary in Trichy, where 1 year certificate course was introduced, picking up students who do not have interest in the formal education ways, and they drop out from the schools and start in unsocial activities or start very undesired activities. We introduced this system, picked up such students who were interested in taking up some vocational training as their employability prospects, brought in industry who could sponsor these youth and assure them that after this certification course is completed by them, assure them they will be employed in that industry. 1 year course was started, and mainly the focus was on practical training, some educational background also, and the expenses were borne by IWS and the Belgia, and the students who underwent this 1 year course, they were ultimately absorbed by the industry. We later on had Vellore Institute of Technology also starting a similar course, a 1 year course, where the local industry again stepped in and the school dropouts were picked up and similar certification was given to them. We have also undertaken with IL and FS 4 to shorter duration courses, 4 to 6 weeks, where the basic aspects of welding is imparted to these school dropouts, and they are made capable of taking up certain employable systems in the industry. Recently, we have gone with the Modi Arc group also, and in WRI, that is Welding Research Institute in Trichy, similar experiment has started. We took up with the Northeast state last year by a visit from an IIT professor and myself, where we visited many places in the Northeast, especially in Assam and Meghalaya, and found that there is a lot of potential for IWS to step in and impart this training and education in the field of welding, where the skills could be developed. And the industry, there are a lot of petrochemical and refinery projects already existing in the Northeast. Some of them are still coming up, where these, there are a lot of requirement of skilled welders, but the industry doesn't get these skilled welders. So with the help of IGNOU and the Assam government, we started undertaking certain courses. 3 courses so far have been conducted on a short-term basis under the prior knowledge concept of IGNOU. Thanks to IIVT, we have organized 1 course in Shillong and 2 courses in Shillong and 1 in Guwahati, where we pick up welders who are already doing this but without understanding what welding is. You give them an equipment, you give them a holder, you give them a consumable, they'll be able to produce a weld. But how best they can make use of these equipment and how they can bring in quality welding, that is not known. So we give them some theoretical exposure and try to teach them what welding is and make them better welders. We have recently proposed, Dr. Guha has suggested that we start certification courses. Professor Debjani was also mentioning about the need for certification. We have proposed that we will undertake specialized welding courses for those who are interested in getting absorbed in the industry in the Northeast by offering them 3 levels. Level 1 for structural fillet welding, level 2 for plate butt welding, and level 3 for pipe butt welding. These will be small duration course, but people who do not have any exposure in this technological field, they will be given certain welding training so that the basic knowledge is imparted to them, the basic way of doing welding that is taught to them, and industry can absorb them.
So I would like you to.
Okay, our proposal is that we would like to undertake this initiative on a very broad term and on a very long perspective. We can offer our services, our faculty for training. Even the ITIs where we found there is lack of knowledge of the modern welding processes, there also we are taking the training of trainer courses. So IWS would be willing to help the Northeast youth in developing into areas where they could get good employments in the industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Sudhindra, can I request you, since you are from the host institute, would we give our guest first to speak? Yeah, sir, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Sopong. I'm a retired agriculture director in Nagaland. I just came with a verbal invitation only. I did not receive any information, but I would like to thank. Okay, I'd like to thank Mr. Natwar Thagar, who has invited me. Actually, in fact, he called me telephonically and then asked me to come over. So I just came over without any special paper to be presented here. But just as my colleagues also already mentioned about Nagaland, I'm also from Nagaland. So just like to see a few points on the higher educations. In fact, history of education started in Nagaland in the late 19th century. And then the higher education started just in 1959, after quite a lapse of time. That was the lone higher education. First college started at Mokokchung. That is, the name was Fazal Ali College. Then after that, in 1994, came off Nagaland only university after quite a long time. But right from the beginning, the growth of the university was not a smooth sailing. From the first inceptions, the vice chancellors, the appointment of vice chancellors.
So would you just give us the highlights of how you would like this thing, MGID or anything, any institute of IGNOU go about for the Northeast in
it is
context to agriculture?
Yeah, but I just wanted to give you a few points to be considered. That is, within the existing institution, we require faculty competence. That is one area we require. Identifying the priorities, then the autonomy of the university, and then the mushrooming of higher educational institution, then financial situation, then we have a serious lack of accountability. So I think these are the points I would like the participants would like to discuss.